God damn it. Hey everyone, it's Nux, and oh boy, we just got a new Sonic game shadow dropped, which means it's time for me to do a video where I give my knee-jerk impressions on what's going on. Like, usually I wait a bit until we get more info in terms of learning what's going on with a new Sonic game, but in this case, I feel like I've gotten enough to where I can make a video and go ahead and get into my thoughts, if you will, and I definitely have some thoughts to go over. So this morning, I'm relaxing, I'm chilling, I'm not thinking about much else. I'm working on the projects that I told y'all I was working on, but suddenly I look in my subscription feed and I see this game called Sonic Dream Team, and I see the thumbnail and it has Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, freaking Cream. Cream is out of the freaking playable character grave and she's finally relevant again. Amazing. And I even see Rouge in there, which I'm going to talk about Rouge. But anyway, I see this new character and I'm just baffled because I have no idea what this is. So I click on it and all of a sudden I see this 3D gameplay of Sonic & Co, running around. So my eyes were widened. Like, Sega almost got me. They almost got me with this. Like, this 3D Sonic game that actually has a colorful and stylized look to it, and it looks like open 3D and not just mindless boosting or 2D. Like, this really had my interest intrigued. But as the trailer progresses, I noticed, why is it like super laggy? Like, why is the texture so low and everything like that? Like, that already was a major red flag. But of course, once we hit the end of the trailer, that pretty much answered those concerns, because you look at this end stinger and you see that, oh, this is exclusive to Apple Arcade. This is exclusive to mobile devices. So what I'm basically looking at is some sort of pseudo 3D Sonic game that's exclusive to mobile. And this is just that classic Sega bullshit. This is that classic Sega bullshit. There's no other way to put it, because like, a part of me really wanted to be excited for this, but come on y'all. Come on y'all. I know Sonic fans are gonna be like, give it a chance, bro, but how? How? Like, even if you own an Apple device, which is already like a very specific and like narrow platform to have, but even if you already have a freaking Apple device, you have to specifically have one that can run this pseudo 3D Sonic game, which I know a lot of you probably don't have this, so this isn't gonna really be an option for you unless we figure out like how to emulate this or something. So stop the cap. This is not gonna be some easily accessible Sonic game that everyone is going to be able to play and enjoy. This is a very specific Sonic game that only appeals to a certain amount of people, because let me guess, Sega made a deal with Apple, didn't they? Because if it's a deal that they can shove Sonic into, of course they're gonna take it, because they've learned fucking nothing. Like, this company does the same shit all the time and it's so annoying. But okay, let me calm down. But anyway, let's actually analyze this game and see what there is to, what is going on here. So again, one of the major things that caught my eye is that this is a modern Sonic game, and as we know, Sega is a bit conflicted with the identity of Sonic lately and Sonic's, modern aesthetic. So that already caught my attention and made me glad to see that. But in terms of the characters, it's interesting because we have 6 playable characters here, 3 dudes and 3 gals. So Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, the standards. It's nice to see them as always. But we have Amy, which is cool. They've been making Amy more relevant in games lately, and it's really nice to see Amy really being treated a part of the main crew. But it's these next 2 characters that really caught my attention. So first off is obviously Cream. Sega has been treating Cream nicely in recent years. Like, they've really backseated her. And apparently one of the alleged excuses for it was the fact that, oh, she's a young character, so she wouldn't be going on these dangerous adventures, which is such dumb BS when you think about the fact that Cream has been on dangerous adventures since her conception. Like, she was literally playable in her first appearance, so what the hell are you talking about? But now it's nice to see that Cream is playable again. Like, I think she fits into the dynamic of Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy well, because she kind of already was the Tails to Amy anyway, and she just fits among them. So it's nice to see that the Sonic Advance crew is back together again, so that's really cool. But then we get to the 6th character, and it's Rouge. So yeah, Rouge is here, and it's really weird. I'm very conflicted on this. On one hand, it's nice to see Rouge getting a major role in a Sonic game, because she's another Sonic character who Sega has kind of been neglecting in recent years. But one thing I kind of don't like about what they're doing with Rouge is they're kind of making her a member of Team Sonic lately. Like, especially with Sonic Prime, they basically kind of make her a unofficial 5th member to Team Sonic. And it's weird because she doesn't fit Team Sonic. She doesn't fit Sonic & Co.'s aesthetic. Like, she works better with characters like Shadow and Omega and even other characters. And I just don't think she fits alongside Sonic and Tails. But hey, I mean, it's nice to see her playable, and I'm not going to complain at more playable Sonic characters, so I mean, it's cool, I guess. I mean, it's not, again, her dynamic with these other characters isn't the worst. I'm not against it. Like, there's definitely worse characters they could have picked, but that's just a weird nitpicky thing. Overall, I think the character roster is alright. It's not that bad. Honestly, I'm surprised they didn't go with making some sort of newer character playable. Like, for example, spoilers for Sonic Superstars. This is spoilers for Sonic Superstars, so just keep that in mind. If you haven't beaten Sonic Superstars, skip a few seconds ahead, but I'm surprised that maybe they didn't use Trip, because in Sonic Superstars, Trip is playable and we end up seeing her full face and she has this crazy super dragon form, and I'm surprised that they didn't make her the 6th playable character and the part of Amy and Cream's little group to fill out the gals, because I think that would have been a great way to transition Trip into the modern style of Sonic games, but I guess it was too soon, or maybe this was already in development for a minute, so they couldn't include her. But I think this would have been a great opportunity to get Trip in there, but whatever, Rouge works. But yeah, in terms of the look of this game, when I first saw the gameplay of this game, I was like, is this Sonic Lost World 2? Because there's bits of this gameplay that really remind me of Lost World, between like the floating blocks, between like how colorful some of the environments look. Like, when I first saw this, I was like, oh my god, did they really make a sequel to Lost World? And that already was gonna make me like flip my mind, but I don't know. I just didn't really have too many thoughts with that. But anyway, yeah, what do I think of the overall world design and the gameplay? Well, I guess we have to see a little more of the gameplay before I can fully judge it and get an idea of what the heck is going on here, because I really do not know. Like, when it comes to Sega, you can never know until you start playing the game. You really cannot know, because they are so inconsistent with gameplay, it's ridiculous. But in terms of like the stylized look to some of these levels, I actually kind of like it, because if they were going to do like a 3D open type of Sonic game, like, this is the direction they should have gone in terms of having some stylized worlds and having worlds that Sonic & Co. actually fit in, which is a problem with something like Sonic Frontiers, because Sonic Frontiers looks more like they kind of just stuck Sonic & Co. in Unreal Engine and put some floating rails and stuff like that and kind of just called it a day. But yeah, here it obviously looks a little more stylized and a little more fitting to Sonic & Co. Again, it does lean into a bit of that colorful look a bit too much, but overall, I like the stylized look of this game a bit. But I do think that, you know, a game like Frontiers is probably going to do some things better than this. Like, for example, I imagine the combat in this game is not going to be too complicated. And I do kind of like how Frontiers made an attempt to make the combat in Sonic a bit more in depth. So, I don't know. I'm a bit mixed on how that's going to go. But yeah, that's it for the world and potential game design of this game. Now let's get into the aesthetic and what is the setup of this game. So why is it called Sonic Dream Team? Like, they literally stole a freaking name from Mario and Luigi. That's funny. I can already see the edits with that now. But why is it called Sonic Dream Team? Apparently, the theme of this game is that Eggman has gotten his hands on some sort of powerful artifact again, which, the usual. And apparently this allows him to unleash his dreams into the real world. So basically, this is going to be a dream-themed Sonic game, which I think is pretty interesting, but you know me, I think they could execute this in a much cooler way than they've done so here. Like, because right now it looks very surface level and basic. Like, when I imagined dream worlds created by Eggman, I imagine some very crazy stuff, and if the game doesn't do more interesting things with that idea, then once again it's gonna be another Sonic concept wasted. So yeah, like, I don't know. Oh yeah, and we see a new character, and I think this character's name is 𝗲𝗲𝗯 or something like that. I might have butchered that, but yeah. We don't know much about this character right now, but I can imagine that they're either going to be a potential new ally that joins Sonic & Co., or potentially this is going to be a new big villain that like is potentially going to be the final boss or be a new threat or something like that. One of those two directions for sure. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, in terms of this game, I really want to be interested in this game because I've just been so starved for like genuinely interesting new modern Sonic content. But this game being on mobile devices, it just screams that it's a game that only exists because Sega wanted to make a deal with Apple and they wanted to put out a quick and easy Sonic game that they know Sonic fans are gonna eat up. So I really want to be excited for this, but I just can't, guys. I really can't. Like, come on, y'all. How many of y'all are actually going to buy this? How many of y'all have a phone that's actually gonna be able to run this and not like lag like crazy? Like, you're on some mad copium if you say otherwise. And I know some certain people on Twitter are really trying to push the agenda otherwise, and all I gotta say is you're in a very small like group this time. Like, if this was coming to Nintendo Switch at least, or some other platform that's very accessible, I could understand defending this and the game looking so weird and low quality in places. But in this case, this defending is just inexcusable for me. But whatever. Sonic Dream Team. It is yet another Sonic game that just kind of exists for me. And man, that seems to be a recurring trend with 2020 Sonic games, huh? But I guess we'll talk more about that when I talk about Sonic Superstars. But with that, that's going to be it, y'all. Thank you for listening to my rant/discussion, knee-jerk impressions on this game, and we'll see what else we learn as things move along. So, this has been 𝗃𝗂𝘀𝗶𝗰, and I'm out, y'all. Peace.